3 weeks in October of 2022, two men terrorized Washington, D.C., Maryland, and Virginia in a series of coordinated attacks that killed 7 people and injured 7 others. Those snipers were 41-year-old John Muhammad and 17-year-old Lee Malvo. Both of them were convicted. Muhammad was executed by lethal injection. Malvo is currently serving a life sentence. Muhammad's ex-wife, Mildred, shares her terrifying experience of domestic abuse and the threat to her life in Hunted by My Husband, the untold story of the D.C. sniper. That documentary premieres tonight on Investigation Discovery, and it will stream on HBO Max and Discovery Plus. And we are joined now by Mildred Muhammad. Thank you so much for being here this morning on Connecting America. We appreciate it.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm honored to be here.
You do such a masterful job in this documentary revealing what began as, I don't know, almost subtle ways that your husband's behavior began changing and evolving into what became domestic abuse. Would you share with us what you endured both before and after your ex-husband's shooting spree?
Well, before it was an abusive relationship. However, his was subtle. It was, I had a favorite dress and I would wear it all the time. And he asked me that, why do you always wear this dress? I say, well, I really like this dress. And he threw it away. I went back to look for it and it was gone. I said, did you see this dress? He said, no, I haven't seen the dress. Excuse me. So then it was this jacket that I really loved. And he cut it up. And he said, so you accusing me of throwing away your dress. Now you're accusing me of cutting up your jacket. It's just the subtle things that abusers do that may not look huge, but it's the combination of things that causes the abuse. And most times victims endure suffering in silence because lots of time, especially if you don't have physical scars, nobody believes you.
Right, absolutely. And that gaslighting, like that subtle gaslighting and making you question yourself and your sanity, all of that. And then, the surprising revelation in this documentary is that your ex-husband John Muhammad's rampage was actually not random at all, even though it appeared that way at first. It was actually part of a cold-blooded plan that was directed at you in an attempt to get custody of the children you had together. When did you start to realize this, and what was it like to have that finally be out there in the public?
I didn't realize that I was the target until the FBI came to my home, asked me when was the last time I seen him. I said it was at an emergency custody hearing in Tacoma, Washington. They asked me to come down to the police station to answer some questions. They asked me, um, I'm sorry, they asked me, had I heard about any shootings in other states? And I said, no. They said, well, Miss Muhammad, we're just going to have to tell you, we're going to name your ex-husband as the sniper. Do you think he would do something like this? Because my head hit the table, I raised my head, and I said, yeah. They said, well, why would you think that? I said, well, we were watching a movie. And he said, I could take a small city, terrorize it. They would think it would be a group of people, and it would only be me. I asked him why would he do something like that, and he changed the subject. And that's when the FBI said, well, Miss Muhammad, didn't you know you were the target? And I said, why would I think that? Say, well, there was a man shot down the street from you 6 times. They took his laptop and $3,000. There was also another man that was shot in the abdomen 2 miles from you, Miss Muhammad. You were the target.
Wow.
Mildred, many survivors of domestic violence struggle in silence. What do you hope they take away from this story, and what would your message be to them?
I hope they take away that the abuse that they are suffering is not their fault. It's not their fault. 80% of victims do not have physical scars to prove that they are victims. So if you find yourself in that situation, what I would advise you to do is this: get a separate bank account. Take clothes to your office one item at a time. Gather all of your important documents, birth certificates, passports, ID, so that when you leave, you will not have to return. Moving in silence is your best tool. The element of surprise will help you to get away safely. And if you know someone that is a victim of domestic violence and you want to help, put your boundaries in check. Ask yourself, what I will do, what I won't do, and what I cannot do. Then take that person to lunch, not dinner, because dinner time is checked. Lunchtime, everybody is doing everything that they do. Then ask that question: how can I help you? That is the one question victims are not asked because we're too busy telling them what to do, not knowing we are sounding just like the abuser. And if you find after you put your boundaries in check and you are unable to do anything for them, leave them with a resource. The National Domestic Violence Hotline, 800-799-7233. Sometimes you just can't do anything, and that's okay. Don't be the hero in somebody else's story. Give them the resources. Let them know I'm here if you need me, but have them to put trust in you that you won't go back and tell their abuser what they are planning to do. Because that is oftentimes when victims are killed. Because somebody told the abuser what their plans were.
Very
Wow, some great
practical.
advice. And speaking,
Mhm.
unfortunately, from experience, Mildred, the film we
Yes, sir.
know also shines a light on some warning signs that were missed by the
Absolutely.
department, justice system, I should say, and as the media as well. Um,
Mhm.
why was that important that those warning signs um, were missed, and how did that change the trajectory of the events? Would you say?
The warning signs for the police or for victims?
Either or both. I mean, there were things we know in the investigation. They were looking initially for a white van that wasn't
Right.
involved in this at all, right?
Right. Correct. So the warning signs were missed because mostly I have a lifetime restraining order that the judge in Tacoma, Washington gave me. John went to a father's rights group, told them I kidnapped the children. They did a skip trace, found me in the DC area, and told him. That's when he came from Washington State down to Nevada, all of those states, went up to New Jersey, purchased the car, and then re revamped it so that you can shoot out of the trunk. John was an 84th combat engineer. He was like a MacGyver. He could make a weapon, he could do everything. So once they got that car, remodeled it, they came back to to Maryland where I was living, found me, and started shooting people around me.
I
That's
mean,
how they found me.
yeah, all of that is just so terrifying. I mean,
It
because
is.
as you pointed out, you just don't know who you can trust. People that mean to help are actually sometimes putting victims of domestic violence in harm's way without realizing it. And then there's also just the mental and emotional scars. How have you been able to pick up the pieces and move on with your life?
So I had to pick up the pieces for myself and my children because he kidnapped them and took them out of the country for 18 months. So I needed to prepare myself to accept them so that I could help them. I tried to get counseling for myself and my children. Unfortunately, the counselors that were sent to me were more interested in being on TV saying what the DC sniper's wife did or children said and all of that. So I went to the library. I got a book on counseling and I learned how to counsel me and my children myself. I told them that you can ask me any question you want. I will give you the good, the bad, and the indifferent, even if it makes me look bad. But what we have to do is we have to take all of these emotions that we're feeling and we have to separate them so we can handle one emotion at a time. And you cannot use your dad as an excuse for failure. You will not walk around talking about my dad was the DC sniper and therefore I can't live my life. That is not going to be your life. That is not going to be how you turn out. And so that's how we dealt with things, just straight talk, no fluff, just straight facts. We dealt with every emotion. If you saw my children now, you wouldn't even know they went through anything. I'm so proud of them, everything that they went through. And us as a family, we have been able to stick together and continue. on our life. We have healed from all of this, which is why we can talk about it and not have any backflashes or nightmares or whatever the case may be. I needed to ensure that my children went from emotionally balanced children to emotionally balanced adults.
Mildred Muhammad, they are fortunate to have you as their mother, and we can see
Thank
your resilience right there coming
you,
through the
sir.
screen. Thank you so much for being here on Connecting America. We appreciate it.
Oh, just an amazing woman.
Hmm.
Just really refusing to stay a victim. If you'd like to find out more about the documentary that's coming out, Hunted by My Husband, The Untold Story of the DC Sniper, the documentary premieres tonight, actually, on Investigation Discovery, and also will stream on HBO Max and Discovery Plus. The makers of the documentary wanted us to share this website, noexcuseforabuse.com. If you or someone you know is a victim of domestic abuse and need to reach out and learn more about the resources that are out there and the services that are out there, please check the website. Again, it's noexcuseforabuse.com.